Some new economic data just out. Job numbers are in for both sides of the border. And Gaviola is here with a snapshot of the labor market. This would be for October. Why don't we start at home? How do the Canadian numbers look?
Well, I went through the multi-page document that Statistics Canada put out, and I counted the number of times they used the phrase little change. That came up 8 times. That gives you a sense of this really being more of the same for the month of October. So 13,200 jobs added. This is the 3rd month in a row now that we've seen job gains. Those gains came in the full-time work as opposed to part-time work, which many people see as a good sign. There was, however, strength in the public sector as opposed to private sector hiring, which some economists worry about a little bit. Now, in terms of region, Quebec, the big leader here in terms of job gains, as well as Newfoundland, Labrador, and PEI, and that offset some weakness that we saw in the province of Ontario. In terms of sectors, it was accommodation, food services, healthcare. That's where the big job generators were. And I want to have a look at the trend in terms of the jobless picture across the country. It's been falling steadily, and it remains at the lowest level we've seen since the financial crisis. So for the month of October, stuck, or, well, you can read into that what you will, at 6.9%. So stuck, but in a good place.
How about south of the border? Because the U.S. job numbers have been delayed due to the government shutdown there. What impact did that have?
I was reading over a few of some of the analyst notes, and they say there's been little to no impact. A lot of people were wondering what that 16-day shutdown would mean for these numbers. We're not seeing a big ripple effect. Instead, what we're seeing actually was a big surprise. A lot more jobs created than people were expecting. So 204,000 jobs created versus 120. That was the expectation, so about double. So that is remarkable when you consider that, you know, there were hundreds of thousands of workers with the federal government in the U.S. who were furloughed at the time. And yet, the unemployment rate climbed to 7.3%. So a lot of people wondering, well, how could that be? The answer is pretty simple. It is a bit of a head scratcher, though. What happened with those hundreds of thousands of workers is they were counted twice. They were counted on the payrolls because they still had their jobs. They got paid, but they weren't working. So they were also counted as being among the unemployed. So what that means is a lot of people are looking at the October number and saying, yes, it's important, but take it with a big grain of salt. It's a bit of an anomaly.